content creators are like this. We're extremely close. We are our own tribe. So if I see people are being so nice to you and they're being so respectful, I'm hitting follow on everybody on your posts that comment. That's why people need to engage.
Hey guys, this is another episode of the podcast. I'm here with an amazing friend, Rachel Beck. I only recently met her, but her energy is she has a beautiful energy and she's amazing. Like, I found her on LinkedIn and she's killing it in LinkedIn, and I'm really excited to not only dig into her story today, but really get to know how she got into LinkedIn, how she grew LinkedIn, and get tips there. Learn about what got you into it. Learn about, I've heard that you've had this really challenging sort of history, and I don't know, we might unpack that. But yeah, thank you so much for your time today, Rachel.
Thank you, Andy, for having me today. It's an honor and privilege. And I want to give a shout out to my best friend, Brielle Wohnhouse. Thank you so much for introducing us to each other. Yes, to Brielle. So it is an honor and privilege. Thank you.
So, Rachel, how long have you been on LinkedIn? Yeah.
So what you see me doing now, I've been doing consistently, I would say for the last, probably about 5 years. I would say like the hardcore that you see me doing that I do every single day. And I'm here to help people, Andy. That's why I'm here. I'm here. Most of my day is flooded with a bunch of questions like, Rach, how do I do this? Rach, how do I do that? Rach, can you introduce me to this person? Rach, is this a good fit? So if you reached out to me and you said, Rach, should I have this person on my podcast? I'm going to say yes, or maybe no. I'm going to be honest with you, because I know who's professional, who's not on the platform. And LinkedIn works, Andy. It truly works. It is the most powerful platform. And when it comes to business, this is where you want to be. The biggest business deals get done on LinkedIn. How does that happen? You build the friendships, you build the relationships, you give more than you take. And that's one of the biggest mistakes I see people making.
Interesting. One thing that I really observed from you was that you were able to really scale kindness and sort of giving. It's sort of, because I'm a big fan of Gary Vaynerchuk, and you sort of really do his model. You're replying to all your comments. You're like talking to everyone, and then within each reply, they might reply, and then you'll reply again, and you're responding to every single message. Like, I'm messaging you on LinkedIn, and you're sort of getting back to me, and you probably get tons of messages. So you're really just like at scale, just giving, being kind, replying at scale, which I was really surprised. Yeah.
And thank you. And a big part of it is, and that's why I always tell people, please don't block my DM with craziness, with crazy questions. Meaning, I get questions like, did you eat a banana today? Did you just get out of the shower? Completely inappropriate questions, by the way, to ask the female content creators on this platform. Because I'm looking for the people who need help. It's how I set up a lot of things. So I always ask people, especially people think I have this huge social media team behind me. Not true. Team of one. I'm a team of one. So I try to tell people, please be patient. I'm going to get back to you. I am, it's a very deep symbiotic relationship with me and my network. We are extremely close. They know that I'm there banging down more doors, and creating more opportunities for them, and they're very grateful. And it's an honor and privilege to do what I do. It is an honor and privilege, and I always treat people the way I want to be treated.
And that's amazing. Do you ever feel like after maybe you take one day off because you're sick, all of a sudden you get a bit overwhelmed because now the amount of messages and things you have to reply to literally gets doubled? And how do you deal with that? Yeah, like, how do you get back to everyone and be on top of things, and you feel like the moment you take a day off, the next day you're going to struggle to breathe? Is that something you go through?
So you know what? I haven't taken a day off in 3 years, except 1 week in May. I had COVID really severely. So I took that week off, and I literally went through my schedule because I respect people's time. So I just was like, we need to move everything. I cleared out. Um, this is why I don't do that. And I am a huge advocate for self-care, for mental health, especially with me having PTSD. It's even more crucial. People are very scared. People are very nervous about being abandoned. It's a true fear there's, and it's something they've shared with me personally, like no matter what's going on in their life. And people are battling stuff. People have no idea. They know when they get up in the morning, I'm going to be there. And they've told me that like consistency, and that they know I'm going to show up. And so that's a big deal, right? When the lockdown happened, you and I both know everybody ran to social media. This is where they came. They came to build community when we were locked in. They came looking for friendships. They felt very isolated. So I made a commitment not to abandon them. Now, does it mean that I'm not going to take a vacation after 3 years? I have no idea. But they always know that I'm there for them. And for some of them, it's a big deal.
Yeah, like that's such a powerful why. Something that keeps you going and really drives you. And I think that's something that I've been really trying to figure out personally, like finding a really strong why that can keep me up and keep me motivated every single day. Because, when I was younger, the main why was like, I need to make money, I need to survive. I came from a low income family, single mother, my dad wasn't around, and that drove me to try to make money. And when I started making money and I now know my family is they're going to be okay. They're not I'm not really there yet where they can live in luxury, but I'm at a place where I know my family is going to be taken care of. Slowly that why is becoming weaker and weaker, and I'm starting to need to figure out a new sort of catalyst. And I think the catalyst that you have, Rachel, where you're sort of showing up every day for these people who sort of need you there, is such a powerful why.
I have many whys, and thank you, Andy. Thank you for sharing with me about your story. I have many, many whys. I've had my multiple near-death experiences, so I know that I'm here for a reason. I'm here for a reason. And for me as a leader, it's to make sure everybody else is okay, to know that they're okay. And people need our empathy right now more than anything. People need compassion. They need a shoulder to cry on. They need a hug. They need a friend. So that's the seriousness. I don't know if you know this, Andy, but I had a psychologist on the show a couple weeks back. He said that in America, mental health issues are up 800%. That's how he's actually saying that mental health in this country is the new pandemic. It is that serious in this country right now. So I'm trying to teach people not to stress them out, not to create anxiety, not to make their lives more difficult, because people tend to do that. You know it, and I know it. So I can't even be around people who add extra stress or anxiety to my life. I'll be honest with you. Like, I'm an empath, so I feel everything. So I always try to tell people, listen, be patient. People will get back to you. Be not pushy. Like those are personalities, pushy, sarcastic. None of those are going to fly on this platform. It's just it's not going to succeed on this platform. So I'm trying to teach the way.
Yeah, like I notice like the content I post that is more around mental health, that does much, much better. And I think people are looking for more of that type of content. You're very, very right. And now you're sort of bringing that up. The sort of the community that I'm a part of, everyone's just kind. Everyone's just so empathetic. And that's sort of the main. And when I look at all the accounts that have like tons of followers, like those are the most kindest and down to earth people. And it's completely different to LinkedIn, where the people with the most followers are the people who sort of have the most lavish lifestyles, have the most coolest toys, and it's LinkedIn. It's like a completely, same as TikTok, but that's sort of what LinkedIn is about, I feel like.
Well, LinkedIn, there are a bunch of us, and when I say a bunch of us out here trying to, we only use our voices for kindness. We only use our voices to make this world a better place. And there's a core bunch of influencers who are working on this daily. They're trying to teach the way.
That's amazing. Recently, I've been trying to find what I love to do, because previously when I was sort of in the consulting space or the e-commerce space, I was motivated to do those things because I really wanted to make money. I wanted to grow and I wanted to learn new skills like sales, and doing those things, I got a lot of satisfaction out of it because I didn't previously succeed at those things. So when I cracked it, it was really, I felt really good. And now going back and redoing those things, picking it up again, I'm not having the same passion as I had before. And I think I've learned that it's just sort of not something I really, really, really do enjoy doing. Back then I sort of did it just to survive, and now I don't need to survive anymore. It's no longer a passion. So I've been on this journey to figure out what I love doing and what I really enjoy doing. And one of the things that I really love doing is connecting with people, talking to people, interviewing people, getting amazing people and just getting curiously digging through their lives. Setting up dinners where I had this person on a podcast, I think they'll be amazing. Let's bring them together and let's do this mastermind dinner. So I'm really enjoying just being a connector of people and just bringing value, try to connect people who I think are similar. But how do I sort of turn that into a living?
How do you monetize it?
Yeah, how do I monetize, or how can I do that full time and turn from doing that for fun on the side to maybe I can do this full time? And is that possible?
Yeah, well, you have to. The big part of it is you need to grow your following, right? And that's why you see me every day. I'm like, people need to connect with my friend. They need to connect with Andy. So you need to build your following. And let me say this too, because this is a huge mistake that people make on this platform. Some of the most successful people in the world are on this platform. They have less than 1,000 followers. And what do people do? They dismiss them. So please be careful about that. Don't dismiss people with a lower following on this platform. It could be the biggest mistake you're making. And some people move, and I know this because I'm friends with a lot of them. They move in silence, right? They're there, but they move in silence, and they want to keep discretion. They want to keep a little bit of privacy. So this is why people don't succeed on this platform. They don't take the time to engage with people. And I tell people all the time, we appreciate that you hit the like button. And sometimes, honestly, if we're running around and we're doing a million, if I open up the app and I'm like, boom, hitting, like I would hit yours, and then I'll come back later and say, hey, Andy, da. It's the engagement where the friendships are made. It's the engagement is where we get to know each other. Then it is the engagement where everything happens. Like you see me doing on your post, I'm like, what's going on, buddy? Good morning. How you doing today? Yeah. Why? Because we built the friendship. Yeah. So that's what people are missed. They don't want to, put the time into engagement. I have no idea why, because I've been telling my network, they always say, Rachel, I want to grow. I'm like, do you engage with people? And they're like, no. I'm like, you're not going to grow.
How do you is there like a strategy to engagement? Because this is something I plan to eventually start doing, is going out of the group that we're part of. Should I just go through the LinkedIn newsfeed and just scroll and comment on every single post I see? Is that a good strategy, or is that too spray and pray and you're not going to create meaningful relationships because you're just commenting on every post on your home feed? Should I be looking for people that I find interesting and maybe saving them and then checking their daily posts and sort of specifically focus on a small groups of people? What's your recommendation on engagement?
Okay, so that's a really good question, by the way. So I post Monday through Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday is about me giving back to my network. That's what I do. And this is another mistake people don't do. I spend time like going through my feed and giving back to my network. And that's why I don't post Saturday and Sunday. I also do it because I'm taking like a little time off because it's the weekend. That's what people are missing. People should be going through their feed. The people are there to connect with you, to follow with you. Give back to them. They're there. I tell people that all the time. Take the time and truly give back to your network. And if you're not doing that, why do you have a network? Why do you even have a network? So that's what I do. My network knows that. They know I'm doing everything during the week, that I'm producing the show, that I'm doing meetings, I'm doing everything I'm doing. But they know Saturday and Sunday I'll pop up and I say hello. The other thing, Andy, when it comes to engagement. If people, I'm huge on manners, huge, because I went to etiquette school. If people show up on your post, you say thank you. It's just good etiquette. So when people don't do that with me, one, it means you and I both know time is our most precious commodity. It means they didn't honor my time, or they were not grateful. So what I end up doing is I don't go back. For the people who are like, I've been trying to teach my close friends now, I've been trying to teach etiquette on this platform. Like, please, thank you. You're welcome. It's not that difficult.
Yeah, that's super cool. And would this be a good start for people that really want to grow on LinkedIn? Can it be as simple as every day I'm going to scroll through the news feed and I'm going to do 100 comments on 100 posts? And I'm going to do that.
You should see me Friday. You should see me, Andy, Friday and Saturday, right? So I'll hit it. I'll probably hit 200 posts.
Wow.
Like, yeah, and it's not it's about giving back. So I will spend some time. They'll see me because like, oh my God, you were up at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's not for everybody, but it will just be the time, and I will go through and I will hit probably 100 to 200 posts. Now, can I do this daily? No. Can I do it on the weekend? Yes, I can. And it's important. It's important for my network shows up for me in a big, big way. And so I want them to know that I'm showing up for them.
Now, Rachel, how does the news feed work? Like, are you only showing people that you follow, people within your network, or is it built in a way where they slip in people who are completely out of your network into the news feed at random? How does the LinkedIn news feed work?
So the feed is, and tell me if I'm wrong, I'm just tell you what I think it is. It's people I follow. It's people who are inside my network. And that's why when I'm writing on someone's post, hey, I just followed you, they get excited because they know it means you're showing up in my feed. So people who come to my profile will go through my feed. We'll see it and go, oh my gosh, who's this, who's that, who's that? Wow. So to get inside of that feed, that's why people are like, oh, I just followed, because it puts them in the feed, and if they're connected. So that's why going through your feed is so very crucial. Not the biggest influencers on this platform. This is what we do. We take the time and we go through our feed. Most of us do it on the weekend.
Wow. Can you repeat that last part again? So when you see someone, you follow them, they get excited. What do you mean by that? So do you sometimes see people that you're not following on your newsfeed, or how does that work?
Well, if somebody if I jump in, I'm like, wow, I really like their post, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm maxed out on connections. So I'll hit the follow button. I'll say, okay, I'm going to follow Andy today. So therefore, Andy is going to show up. So as your post is coming through, it's going to come up through my feed, and I'm going to see it. So that's why people get so excited, like, oh my gosh, she just followed me. So they know then that I'm looking at you, or I've looked at your profile, or.
Interesting. And one thing that I noticed from LinkedIn that really shocked me was just by replying on other people's posts and leaving comments and engagement, people saw my comment and they found out about my profile. They liked the comment. So I was surprised how the comment itself, even though the main purpose was to give to the person that was posting and replying to them, it surprisingly brought in attention from other people that were just reading the comments, and that shocked me as well.
Well, it's important, right? So I'll tell you a little secret. You ready? So this is what I do. If I go to your posts and I go to your posts, you know that I look for people who are very kind to you. They're very respectful to you. And then I go through your entire post and I hit follow, 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 follow. And I've explained this in videos. So because we know that content creators are like this, we're extremely close. We are our own tribe. I tell people that all content creators are freaking family. So if I see people are being so nice to you and they're being so respectful, I'm hitting follow on everybody on your post that commented. That's why people need to engage.
That is so smart because now, one, they've dropped a comment so that they have the intention to be a person that is engaging on LinkedIn. Two, now you're sort of focused and you're sort of focusing your circle and energy on the people that actually engage. That's such an amazing strategy.
And it's important. And people should know that's what the influencers do. We're like, oh, wow, that person is just really respectful. Now, let me say the opposite, because I've gone to some of my friends' posts and someone's written a horrible, terrible comment. What do you think I do? Not for me, block, bye. I can't be around you. So that's the other side of it people should know. And so I teach people to be think before they speak, think before they write. It can further your career. You're going either one way or the other way by the words that you put on this platform.
So with LinkedIn, what I'm now learning is growth comes from engagement, really commenting and get to know. It's sort of like just growing your follower one by one by one. And unlike YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, there isn't that exponential effect where you can just focus on putting amazing content out and have that go viral and have that grow your following. LinkedIn is a bit different where a viral post can't gain you 50,000 followers. You can only gain that much through literally engaging with 50,000 people. Am I correct there, or is there sometimes spurts and spikes through viral?
I always ask about that. So you can have a bunch of views, right? You can have millions and million views. But my friend was just on it. He's on my show 2 weeks ago, and he's a branding and marketing expert. And we were talking about this. He said you could have a million views, but they could be empty views. Meaning, was their conversion? You know, a lot of people use videos as a sales funnel. You know that. That's how they meet people. So if they're getting the millions of views, were they able to build any more business relationships out of it? Or were people just looking at it for now? Do the views matter? Of course they do. But my friend described it perfectly. Empty views, because you didn't either build more relationships, people didn't engage, they didn't engage with you. So that's why it's important. I'm big on quality over quantity. This shocks people because I only post 5 days a week. I do 5 posts the entire week. And it's our space and it's our creative freedom to post as many times as we want. Some people do 3 or 4 posts a day. That's their choice. That's not for me. So I'm big on quality versus quantity.
And that's something that I really pivoted with. Like after seeing every single person on LinkedIn, especially all the big people, they all posted just like 1 a day or 5 days a week. And I was like, if that's what they're doing, like I gotta stop posting multiple times a day. I didn't bring it down to 1 and I just brought it down to 1. And I think so far, based on what I'm seeing, the results do seem way better. But there's a reason why I guess everyone's doing it, and I don't want to think I'm better than that.
But it has to do. I always tell people, do what you want to do. It makes you feel comfortable, though. Because people ask me all the time, how come you don't post Saturday and Sunday? I'm like, I take the weekend off. And I always tell people it's people's creative space, how they're going to use it. To be careful about not getting burned out, which is a very big problem. I have a very good balance, and when I do, I time block my day. So I take 2 hours for myself. I tend to do that in the after. I do one in the morning, one in the afternoon, because there are days I'm working till 11 o'clock at night. But I will not sacrifice my mental health, and I will not sacrifice my physical health. I'm just not going to do that.
What do you usually like to enjoy in those 2 hours, Rachel? What sort of really helps you recharge?
I am a huge hiker. As I was sharing with you, like I'm a huge nature girl, big time. I am happier outside than I am inside. That is my space. Like I am an outdoors girl. Um, so that's I'll either disappear, get a hike in with my dog, and I take 1 hour for myself in the morning, and that is crucial for me. It's like I call it my quiet hour. Like, before I do anything, before I do technology, before I jump and start my day, that 1 hour sets the tone for me for the rest of the day. So if I don't get that 1 hour of stillness, Andy, just sets the tone.
That's beautiful. It's sort of like meditation.
I'm an early riser. I'm a very early riser, extremely early riser. So
That's crazy. And talking about hikes, like I love, like there's something really recharging about just walking. It's sort of a bit meditative because your mind freely thinks about things and you have like an amazing sort of nature sort of setting, and that really helps. I sort of used to do afternoon walks like to my local park all the time, but I know I get the most energy when I'm sort of driving 45 minutes out to the local national park and just sort of doing a 1 or 2 hour loop. But I always procrastinate on doing that. Like I'm always making excuses why not to do the drive. Whether it's, there's going to be a lot of traffic because it's 5 p.m. Or it's the weekend, it's going to be too packed. Oh, like if I go out, it's going to take an hour to drive out and then an hour back, so I lose 2 hours plus. So I'm always making up these excuses, yet I know it's so healthy and recharging. I procrastinate on self-care.
and we shouldn't, right? We shouldn't, because like I said, if I didn't have I can't help other people if I don't take care of myself. And my network knows that about me. One of the worst comments I've ever gotten written in DM. You ready? I get a lot of bad comments in DM. We could do a whole show on that. I woke up and someone had written me, Rachel, you should be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I was like, excuse me? I'm sorry, what? And I was talking about one of my closest friends, like, and she's like, do you not sleep? Do you not like eat? Do you not like do exercise? And that was someone saying they didn't care about me, Andy. That the fact that I should be available 24 hours a day. It was one of the most ridiculous comments I've ever got. I was like, no, I'm not going to be available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm very clear on my priorities. I know for me, my relationships come first, right? So that it goes like that. That's number one. Number two is my work. I am very big on work-life balance, and some people can get to that. They always say, how do you do this? How do you do this? And I said, you create what you want to happen. So that's what I do. But it is very easy for me. It's families first, friendships, all of it. That trumps everything. And then work is second. I love my work. I'm grateful for what I do. I give it 200% every single day. But if one of my best friends calls me and something's going on and she needs me, or I'm on that phone, I'm taking that phone call. Like, or if my family says, hey, we want to do lunch today. Okay, then I'm going to do a half day, go spend time with my family, and I'll come back later. Because those are the moments. That's what matters. And my friends here know, they're like, Rach, I need you today. I'm like, okay, sweetie, what do you need right now? So relationships, number one, it will always be that way. Nothing's ever going to change when it comes to that.
That's beautiful, Rachel. When I'm sort of going through these sort of down periods, like mentally ups and downs, during the downs, it's weird. Like, even though I know it's, I guess, healthy when it's to reach out to someone, subconsciously or naturally, I sort of try to figure it out myself. And I think it's a bit of like a fear of like, I don't want to put this sort of downness on someone else. It's a bit of, I know I'm feeling down. I'm feeling like I don't believe in myself right now. I'm scared that things aren't going to work out. And I guess voicing that, I usually sometimes just talk to the camera and just talk to myself and personally document things. But I know if I tell that to someone, it's not like they're going to be able to give me a solution, because it's just like a mental thing. And I sort of know that I just need to get a lot more sleep tonight, and tomorrow it should be okay, and I should be talking about the ups and the downs openly with people like I'm doing now. But I do have a trouble reaching out to people when I'm down. I just relax, I watch TV.
Andy, you can always reach out. You can always, and I mean that sincerely, because listen, we all need help. I tell people all that time. It takes a tremendous amount of courage and strength to be vulnerable and to share. So when one of my friends has this very deep post about mental health, that they're going through a hard time, and I really watch the comment sections for them. I'm like, oh, please, this person just opened their heart and soul. Please, do the right thing, support him, understand that it takes courage for us to be vulnerable. That's crucial, right? So all that matters. What's more important? It's more important to show up and be there. My life hasn't been easy. People make that assumption. They think it is. I get that all the time. Your life is great, wonderful, perfect. Wrong, and you're not right. And then I get the you've had it easy. Wrong, again, wrong. So for us to be there through the challenging times, that's what matters. Andy, you and I both know it's easy to have a friendship when life is great, wonderful, dude, everything's going great. But I believe in my heart, and I've seen it. Real friendships are made during the hard times, not the good times. Is that person there? Do they show up for you, or did they abandon you?
That's so true, because when people think about friends, they usually sort of think about the hard times they had and who was there to support them during those rough times. So that's such a true fact. And when you're talking about empathy, the thing that came to me is like empathy comes from pain. Like I can just feel that you're so empathetic and kind, but I have like a gut feeling that it just came from a lot of hardship, and you had to go through all that to get to where you are. And all your empathy and kindness and your ability to understand and listen to people just didn't come out of nowhere.
Oh no, it came from the things I've been through in my life. I have been, Andy, through hell and back more times than I can ever imagine. Begin to tell you. And then so I've taken that because of what I've gone through. And that's why I am so empathetic, because I know what it's like to be in that dark tunnel, and you're like walking and you can't get to that light. I know what it's like to fall down and you're so freaking tired. You're just, even on a cellular level. And then you pull yourself back up, and then something happens and you're right back down again. We know that life is this one roller coaster ride, right? And there's people who ride the highs, then they go through those lows and they get back up. So that's why I am empathetic. So much, people only know part of my story. They know part of it. So much has happened to me. It would be a really long conversation with you.
Were you doing LinkedIn, or have you been doing LinkedIn full time for the past 5 years, or was there a steady transition? And how or why did you get into LinkedIn?
Originally I got on here because I had my photography business for 10 years and I had it. And then I wrote my book, right? And that came out in 2018. And my passion is marketing and PR. I am deeply passionate about marketing and PR. It is a love of mine. I've always been that way. So I think that's what happened. And then I built and fell in love with this incredible, beautiful community. And I remember the first time I did a video, I did text for 2 years, right? I did text for 2 years, and then video opened up, right? And it wasn't quite, and please don't push people when they're ready to do videos and be in front of a camera. Let them do it. Just let them do it. So I did text for 2 years, started building my following. And I had asked my network this really powerful conversation. I asked them a simple question. Tell me what happened to you in your life. Well, that thread kept going and going over. I mean, people shared things with me that ripped my heart apart. I'm like, tell me your story. And it was like, I barely slept that night. I was in tears with everything people had shared with me. So the next day I got up, had a coffee, I sat down, flipped on the camera. And my friends have been encouraged, like, Rach, you should come on video. And I'm like, I'm not ready yet. I'm not ready yet. So that's why I said, don't push people. So, and my friends were coming from a really good place. They're like, whenever you're ready. And I would watch, and I said, hi, remember, Andy, because I turned on the camera and I said, hi, my name's Rachel Beck. It's very lovely to meet you. And I wanted to say thank you so much. It took courage and strength. I heard everything that you shared with me. And it was funny because like, oh my God, she's real. We're using the text. Like, this is a real human being. And so people, they're going to move at their own pace. People need to know that when they're ready, they're ready. When they're not ready, they're not ready. And that's the thing. That was the day for me. That was the day for me where I flipped on the camera and said, you know what, I'm just going to do this. And I got over the fear of doing it. And I eventually, got more now I'm producing a show. So it's been 3 years. Now I'm like very comfortable in front of the camera. But I remember thinking, and I was so shocked by the amount of love and support I got for doing the video. Like, it was huge. Like, hey, Rachel, oh my gosh, we're so excited to see you. And so please, if you see somebody doing their first video, support them, encourage them, because I promise you, it took them a lot of courage to hit that record button. And then I was just discussing this with someone last week. She just did her first video and she was like, Rach, I was so scared. And I was clapping for her. She did a phenomenal job. It takes courage to show up in this space in video, because we put ourselves out there, this, and we were out there, part of the game, where we were open to being judged, criticized, condemned, the whole thing. Especially as a woman, it's a little different for you guys.
I remember I recently did this post. It was talking about social media and how social media is like really unhealthy and how it skews everyone's perspective. And I was scared. Like I thought like I was a bit like I was scared posting it because I thought people would be like, you're a hypocrite, like you're using social media, like if you say it's unhealthy, then why are you posting on social media? You post yourself traveling, isn't that a bit ironic and hypocrite? Like I was just scared I would just get a bunch of hate from it. But surprisingly, it was one of my best performing posts because it was talking about something real, raw and difficult, talking about how social media is just not that healthy, and that ironically did the opposite when I was just scared that it would bomb and people would hate it.
And you know what, it can be, like, for me, social media is very healthy. I'll tell you why. Because I surround myself with kind, positive people. That's what I do. I won't be around the negativity. I don't do drama. I don't do gossiping. That is not, it's not my thing. I'm out here trying to make people's dreams happen. I'm out here trying to hit all my goals. So yeah, it's for me, it's a very healthy space. If somebody, here's a trick. Okay. This is what I do. I use my heart is my GPS. People have heard me say that. If somebody, Andy, let's say you and I walk into a room, right? And we're at some kind of function and someone approaches you and me and I take a step back. It's either the person's energy is not for me because I'm very in touch with energy and I can feel it through the screen too. I can feel people's energy. You get a choice. We talk about all the time, the tribe. How special and precious is that tribe? So I stay in that circle. I know how horrible this world is. I know how negative this world is. I've seen it. I've photographed the worst things possible that people have done to each other. So it's that energy, right? We were talking about the energy. People like you and me find each other through Brielle. I want to say we find each other, and that positive energy becomes like a magnet, and then we attract other people. So imagine, my size network, only kind, positive people are in there, right? So if that's a magnet to attract other kind, positive people, it's that big snowball effect. That's what it becomes, the big. So if you're in tune with energy and you understand this and you surround yourself with it, how much better is your day going to be?
It's so crazy. Like over the last 5 years, I was on this journey to figure out like my circle. Like I just didn't have friends a few years ago. Like I went through high school. I never felt like I was a part of anything, a part of any group. And I think it was just like there wasn't too many kind and empathetic people in my high school. Then,
Mine either. Mine either.
Yeah.
yeah, and like I've caught up with some of them. They're just sort of not like everyday people, but they're just sort of like normal people that are going through life. There isn't that curiosity where they want to know about what's going on in my life. There's not that. There's no admiration. There's no respect. Like something's missing. I don't know what it is, but that's sort of majority of sort of people are surrounded by. And I thought that was normal. Like I thought I should have went to the club each weekend and drink and go to festivals, go to raves, and be always sort of alpha and sort of be like a frat kid and do all those things because you're surrounded by those things, and that can go into like a negative snowball. But then I sort of it wasn't that easy, but I just try to continue being myself, and I think myself, I am more vulnerable. I am more sort of less dominant. I have confidence, but it's not in a showing way. And it was hard for me to embody all those things because I was surrounded by the opposite. So I was in this limbo where I wasn't fully myself and I wasn't fully what everyone else was. So I wasn't popular in this space and I wasn't attracting the amazing, kind people that I really wanted to be, because I was sort of in this limbo trying to live both worlds. And as I sort of try to really learn myself and find out that, hey, I do love kindness. I do love talking about deep and meaningful conversations. I don't really enjoy small talk. I want to get to know people.
Me either. Andy, I'm all about a real conversation like this. Yes.
And as I started doing that, all of a sudden I started slowly, bit by bit, attract people that were like that. And I couldn't previously because I wasn't that. And these people are small and few, and that's sort of why it's more important for you to be really kind, because they're so small and few. So if you're not really kind, they're just going to come by. And these people are so self-aware, they can sense it. And it's crazy because then I started attracting kind people, but then like the level of kindness just kept increasing. I was like, wow, like I thought they were really kind, but I just met this person and they understand me even more. Oh wow, I met this person, they understand me even more. Like each time it would hit a new level. Like I'd meet someone and be like, oh wow, this person's so kind, they care for me. But this, for some reason, they're a bit like narcissistic, or it's like hard to do business with them. Oh, I found someone that's kind and really giving, and I would love to do business with, and it just kept jumping up.
And it's amazing. And I can see the smile on your face because it obviously, it made you feel better. Listen, we've all learned the lessons. We've all known the mistakes we've made, the people's past we've crossed. We all have stories like that. Trust me. And so if you learn it when you're older and you learn, it's right. We all learn. They always say there's a lesson where you meet someone you do, whether it's a really bad lesson is the person was who they are. Let's be honest, not every person. I always say this, life is not rainbows and unicorns, but you met, even if the lesson was a bad lesson, right? I always think about like, why did I meet this person? And then you get the lesson a year or two, like, yeah, that's right. That's exactly why I met this person. Because I knew this is how I didn't want to be treated, or I knew that I wasn't okay with this, or all of it. We get the lesson from no matter whose paths we cross.
That's awesome, Rachel. One thing that I really want to sort of get your advice on is how do you absorb all that, not pain, but like everyone when they're sort of coming to you for help, how do you absorb that all? Because that's something I struggle with. Like I remember a friend, a close friend, had a tough breakup, and I think is sort of I think he broke up with his girlfriend, and then his girlfriend ended up sort of kissing or hooking up with one of his co-workers or friends, and that really sort of crushed him because that person was a friend. And he came to me, like I was like, yeah, come through, come over, and it was just talking. We were just talking for like 4 hours, and I was just listening to him. But it was looping through the same problems over and over again. And by the end of it, I was so tired and drained. Obviously, I was there for him and I listened to him, and I wasn't exhausted while I was here. But when he sort of left and I walked him out, I was just like, whoa, that was pretty tiring.
You know what? And I'm really big on listening. It's a huge part of it's what I do, right? I mean, I run a talk show. But if you notice, 90% of my show, I'm listening. I don't know if you've ever caught that. I am listening to the person. We can take it in and we can help them and we can do right by them. There are times too, though, where it's okay to say, listen, I've helped people where it's end up, how do I say this? Hurting me. And does that make sense? Where either the person has become a trigger for me because of, it's hard to explain that, but you know what I mean. So I know what when you're saying like being there for people, but not taking it in so much. And because I'm such a deep feeling person, I will have conversations like this where I'm with somebody who's sharing from a vulnerable space, from their heart. I'll be up for hours a night because I have to wind down. And I'll take some time. I'm a diehard movie person, so I will literally, movies are like what I love. I'm a huge movie person. I have to wind down from the day. I have things and I've studied I minored in psychology and gender studies. So I know and you got to imagine like all the fires, the synapses, that's the fire, everything that's going on in my brain all day long. I'm putting out fires all day long. I am solving problems all day long. And it's a constant speed from the minute I get up till I'm done at night. So that wind down for me is crucial. Like just to take a couple hours and take some time so I can recenter, because my brain has taken in so much data during the day that it kind of says, okay, Reach, now you need to take some time. Because my brain is wired for that. It knows my routine. Like, okay, all day long, and then it's time, get up, do it again. People only see what we show them, right? They see what we show them, meaning, they see in our final product of what we create. There's so much more that goes on behind the scenes that I deal with every single day. And so going back to what you were saying about that conversation with your friend, we can listen and be there. And I feel like if it starts, let me explain. You can always say to a friend, listen, I'm here to listen to you. I want to be there for you, so they understand that. But if you need to help yourself too in the situation, and that you need to help yourself too. And I will be there. I'm a ride or die friend. Now that we know each other, we will be together for the rest of our lives. That's the kind of friend I am. We will ride it out. I mean, that's just the way it's going to be. So it's just, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Where you're like, all right, I need a couple hours to wind down from this.
You're right, and I think I do need to grow more, and I need to sort of gain that grit. And if I did that every day, like I'd be in a like I don't know if like I'd be so exhausted. And I think I am in a place where that doesn't happen every day, luckily. Like only something bad goes wrong with someone in my inner circle, maybe once every like few months, and I'm there, I reach out, I sort of sense it, and I'm there to listen and talk. So it doesn't happen every day. And the fact that you can sort of be in that, Rachel, and sort of really just help people day in, day out, so much admiration, because like it's crazy. It takes a lot, and the fact that you do it just shows how strong and sort of powerful you are, Rachel.
Thank you. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to help people. I'm here to guide them. Let me say this way, I'm here to empower them, right? I'm here to empower them and let them see who they are. I have one of my mentors on this platform. It was years ago, kind of like 5 years ago. It was 3 years, something like that. And he had said something to me so powerful. It was so powerful. And I listened to what he said. And the best thing we could do, he saw something inside of me that I didn't see inside of me. And he said, listen, we were having a private conversation. We can empower people on this platform. We can encourage people. We can write positive comments. We can do all that. And it's a choice that I make every day. I'm deeply conscious of the words I speak, the words I write. I'm deeply conscious of making sure people are okay, that they're okay. Understanding that when they write me and they share something so powerful, sharing something that is so vulnerable, and I mean vulnerable on such a deep level, that I took the time to respond, to honor them, and to be there for them. And if you're not, why are you an influencer? It's about your followers. It's never, ever about you. And people still don't get that message. And that's the mistake. I see it, Andy. I see so much selfish behavior. It makes my stomach turn. I'll be honest with you. Because you have people, you have a following. Then what are you doing with it? It's never, ever about you. And if you don't get that, please don't be an influencer. That's the way I feel.
That's so true, Rachel. Last question, selfish question.
Okay.
Based on what you've seen I do, what can I improve on, or what can I do better? Or should I just keep doing what I'm doing, posting one a day, sort of learn the type of get better and better with the content, try to figure out the right messaging, and I'm slowly getting there. Continue to engage with people consistently. Maybe start going to the home feed and start commenting on people's posts. Any recommendations on what I can do to improve my game when it comes to LinkedIn, Rachel?
Can I say something first?
Yes.
Andy is extremely professional from day one, my first interaction with him. Please connect with him. Please work with him. I am vouching for him 150%. I wanted to add that for you. I think what you're doing is wonderful. I really do. You're doing everything right. And you know what, Andy? I'm a text away. So when you have a question, you're like, Rach, boom, send it to me, and I would text you right back and be like, what do you need, Andy? We're here to learn from each other. I text my friends, I'm like, how do I do this? Especially if I'm having a technology issue, I'm like, how do I do this? We are all here to learn from each other. What is that great expression? If you are the smartest person in the room, you're standing in the wrong room. You've heard that, right? That's exactly how it is. I learn from people here every day. Every single day, I learn something from them. This platform You have the most incredible ability to learn from the people who have done it. They share their successes, they share their failures, they share everything they've been through to get to where they're at. Do I make mistakes? Of course I do. I'm a human being. Have I had failures in my life? Yes, I have. There's things I've absolutely failed at. Math, Exhibit A. That was my worst subject in school. I fall into like psychology. I love art. I have a passion for law. I took some law classes in school. So yeah, there's things people aren't good at. I'm terrible at math, Andy. There you go. There's one of my worst failures. So it's okay. And we don't need people to be perfect. Since the pandemic, I can actually tell you this because the day the first lockdown happened, I almost saw it overnight. People don't care if you're perfect. They don't care what you look like. They don't care what you wear. It's your voice that people want to see. That's, we were all doing the pajamas and Zoom. We were locked in. That's the best message you and I can get across today. You don't need to be perfect. We will accept you and we will welcome you in. Based on how you present yourself, if you are a kind, respectful human being. Yeah.
That's such a good tip. Rachel, where can people find more about you, hear more from you, and basically get more of Rachel Beck?
You're hysterical. You make me smile. I mean, that's a good one. They can just follow me here, and they can reach out, and you and I, Andy, will help them in any way that we can. We are put on this planet to help human beings. This is the reason why we're here. I have no love for entitled or selfish people. Those are not my people.
Thank you so much for your time today, Rachel. I really, really appreciate it. I just love how...
Thank you very much.
I love how kind, empathetic, and selfless you are, and how you really, you're a real LinkedIner. Like, I don't know if there's a term for being a LinkedIn person, but you're a real LinkedIner where you really take it. Like, you really give back to the community. You take it seriously. You're replying to every comment, every message, and you're really about it. You're really about it.
Well, it's been an honor and joy. I know we're going to be doing stuff together in the future because we have something special with Brielle planned concerning my show. So stay tuned, everybody, for that too.
Thank you so much for everyone watching this. If you guys made it this far, thank you so much for your time. I really, really appreciate it. Hopefully you guys hopefully this was an amazing episode for you guys. But yeah, that's another episode of the podcast, and I'll see you guys next week with another episode. Peace.